A notable moment that gained widespread attention came after the fight, when Max Holloway's son was heard shouting, "Who's your daddy now?" in the direction of Conor McGregor.
Max is my child. I sunned Max when I fought him last.
Max Holloway also noticed a change in McGregor at UFC 329, commenting at the post-fight press conference that McGregor seemed unusually calm and quiet, no longer carrying himself with his signature swagger.
With him walking into the octagon, it didn't seem, it just didn't seem like the same Conor, Like I thought he was stood there to fight, but like I thought he'd be a little bit more rowdy, a little bit more crazy. He looked like really, really calm, like super calm. So I was just kind of like, oh wow, let's see how this goes. And then of course I knew he was gonna attack me with something, and it was a kick. So
Max Holloway disclosed that upon witnessing Conor McGregor's injury. He instructed the referee to halt the fight, citing his concern for McGregor's well-being, particularly with his children in attendance.
Stop the fight. He doesn't want to fight. I was like, bro, his demeanor is right. And then he said fight the first time. So I was like, okay, stand up. So I backed up, he stand up, and then he tried to do this hop step where he hop forward, hop back, and then he did it again. And then when he went back, he just kind of grabbed his leg, and he screamed. He and I was telling the ref, come on, bro. Like, what you want me to do? Keep it like this guy got he brought his kids to the fight. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to beat up a...
Max Holloway has expressed his desire for a trilogy fight with Conor McGregor, and he's willing to wait as long as necessary.
Talking about this 170 domain, I put in this 170 work. We worked our asses off here, especially after turning around so fast after that March fight, and to come back, I wanna feel this domain that he's talking about, this 170 Conor that he's talking about, this different world. That's what I want. So I want to see what his injury is, and for me, I'm down to come back 2027. With that March fight and this fight, I know I came out unscathed, but I owe my family some time. I owe my wife and my son some time, some family time. So that's why I'm focused. You guys are going to see Bless return in 2000.
Sean O'Malley was heartbroken watching Conor McGregor blow his knee against Max Holloway. Here's his live reaction.
No!
Why, God?
UFC CEO Dana White revealed that Conor McGregor was at 100% heading into UFC 329, dispelling speculation that he was injured prior to the fight. At the post-fight press conference, White addressed the rumors, explaining why he believes the injury theory doesn't hold up.
Looked like he had a hard time putting out his sneakers. Could he have been injured before the fight?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, the day of the press conference, he came running out of the back and ran right up to him and stopped abruptly and, squared off with him. They were pushing foreheads, but I didn't see, the doctors checked him out before they fight, and he looked damn good at the press conference, and he looked fine at the weigh-ins. Listen, if anybody saw anything that could have possibly made him look weak or injured leading up to this fight, I mean, what fucking face-off do? 44 million in 24 hours? More than 44 million views. Somebody would have saw something. Anybody see something? No, if they did, they didn't say it, which is impossible. Nobody would do that. So when we were talking about the guy over here earlier asking about there being a pre-injury, just on my accounts, the face-off that day is at 80 million views, right? So if there was a pre-existing injury, somebody would have noticed it. He was limping, put his shoes on, he ran right at him. I don't think there was. Anything is possible, but he sure didn't look like it. And for 80 million just on my accounts, that number's got to be massive, and nobody noticed anything, so there you go.
Comment below, what did you think of the Conor McGregor vs Max Holloway fight? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell. I'm still under 1,000 subscribers, and I upload new MMA videos every day. However, the fans are not ready to agree as they found other evidence. They saw Conor going to hospital just 3 days before the fight. Speculation is mounting that Conor McGregor entered his UFC 329 bout already injured. Many viewers noticed his unusual movement during the walkout. New footage further reveals him stumbling and showing caution with his right knee while removing his shoes before stepping into the cage. UFC later released McGregor's pre-fight warm-up footage, which revealed no obvious injury. He was even seen practicing the exact kick that caused his in-bout injury. UFC middleweight champion Sean Strickland has weighed in on the rematch between Conor McGregor and Max Holloway, offering a unique perspective. On social media, Strickland suggested that long-term steroid use can lead to fragile bodies, potentially contributing to injuries. He shared a personal anecdote, stating that a friend who used steroids for an extended period now suffers from frequent tears, even during basic activities. When asked if he thought McGregor entered the fight injured, Strickland replied, "No, he wouldn't have sent a kick like that if he was hurt. I know from experience." Rampage Jackson questioned what comes next, arguing that the devastating injury could mark the end of McGregor's career. He believes overcoming another major setback at this stage would be an enormous challenge, making a successful return harder than ever.
His career is over.
Yeah.
He knows it.
I just thought he'd be a bit more careful at the start.
They made for a shit main event. He won't be back. Look how mad the crowd everybody is.
You think he's gonna come back? No.
No, I don't think so.
Echoing that disappointment, Wade Plemons described UFC 329 as ending in the worst possible way after McGregor went down with a serious leg injury only seconds into the main event. He believes fans were robbed of the chance to see whether McGregor could still compete at the highest level because the fight ended before it truly began.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely devastated. UFC 329 just ended in a wet fart, as Conor McGregor, in the first second of the main event, sprinted toward Max Holloway, as we all held our hopes high in the air that this was the return of the Mac, that maybe, just maybe, potentially he could turn back the clock 10 years from 2026 to 2016 and show us one more time the magic of the Mystic Mac. He sprinted across the cage, took 2 or 3 steps, jumped, and performed a switch kick in midair, landing on his right leg and knee, and it immediately buckled. He tore his ACL, potentially his meniscus, and the fight was essentially over before it even began.
Dean and AB were equally stunned by the sequence, saying it was immediately clear something was seriously wrong. They pointed to McGregor's reaction right after the injury as an obvious sign that the damage was severe.
Oh, I'm telling you. No, nigga, he faded, bro. He looked at distorted before this fight started, nigga.
Why you keep slipping though?
Look at this. He's going for them killers, nigga. Holloway had that look in his face. He didn't.
It's so weird that he keeps falling every time like that.
Yeah, not good.
Every time he throws.
Like there's something wrong with his leg. Can have step leg.
He like, man, why you keep falling? Look at him. Man, shut the fuck up, bro. Man, shut the fuck up. Man, hell yeah.
Hey, dude told him his leg was fucked up.
Yeah, he had to, bro.
Yeah, now I see like. That's what I'm saying, bro. I seen it in his face. He was distorted, nigga.
Despite the unfortunate ending, Max Holloway leaves the door open for another chapter in the rivalry. He says he would welcome a rematch once McGregor has fully recovered, although he plans to spend time with his family before returning in 2027, keeping alive the possibility of settling the score inside the octagon once again.
He was talking about this 170 domain. I put in this 170 work. We worked our asses off here, especially after turning around so fast after that March fight, and to come back. I wanna feel this domain that he's talking about, this 170 corner that he's talking about, this different world. That's what I want. So I know I want to see what his injury is, and as for me, I'm down to come back 2027, you know, with that March fight and this fight. I know I came out unscathed, but I owe my family some time. I owe my wife and my son some time, some family time. So that's why I focus, you know. You guys are going to see Bless return in 2027.
Daniel Cormier admitted deep disappointment with how Conor McGregor's fight concluded.
It's like somebody took my candy from me. I'm just so sad. That's so crazy how sad I am.
Well,
The MMA guru reacted with frustration and disbelief after Conor McGregor suffered a devastating leg injury just moments into the fight. He feared the setback could permanently impact McGregor's career, calling it one of the most heartbreaking outcomes he had ever witnessed in the sport.
He's back up, but his right foot is fucked. He's going to have to go orthodox. Worst result ever. I hate this sport. I never want to watch it ever again. Worst result ever. I never want to watch a sport ever again. Conor McGregor throws a jumping kick, completely snaps his foot on the ground. His leg's finished forever and he never was able to come back. I hate my life! This is one fucking escape I get, and it's shit. And McGregor just limping around like my fuck.
Building on that reaction, the MMA guru expressed even greater disappointment that the injury ended the fight before fans got any real answers about McGregor's comeback. In his view, the result settled nothing, leaving major questions about McGregor's current level unanswered and his future more uncertain than ever.
It's tough. It's tough. I really wanted him to come back and have a good performance. I thought Holloway was going to win by TKO, so I guess I'm correct. But I didn't want to be correct like that. I wanted to at least see a performance where I knew. Has McGregor still got it a bit? Is McGregor still in the mix? Can he not beat Holloway, but he could beat so-and-so? You know? I was thinking, okay, even if Holloway finishes McGregor in round 4 and McGregor looks good early, does he still beat Dan Hooker if he comes back and fights Dan Hooker? You know? It was just a few of those things where I was just hoping I'd get some answers for what level McGregor's at after these 5 years off. To be honest, he did look a little slow, but it was at welterweight, so that's hard to tell because I'm used to seeing him at featherweight and in his prime at lightweight, but it sucks, man. I don't know what they're going to do next with him.
Paddy Pimblett has once again proven his elite status in the lightweight division. In a stunning moment Saturday night, Pimblett submitted Benoit Saint-Denis with a Darce choke in under a minute.
It does seem like you're one of the biggest stars on the roster right now and can probably call some shots. So if the UFC doesn't have anybody in mind, do you have some things, hey, this is what I would prefer from you?
No, not really. I want to be a world champion. I want to be undisputed champion of the world. I want to be the first ever world champion from Liverpool. And I'm going to do that. I know that's in my destiny. I know it's in my fate. Whether it's the next fight or the next 10 fights, I'm going to be a world champion. It's that simple. If you want me to fight Justin next, if you want me to fight Posh Boy next, if you want me to fight Chorizo next, if you want me to fight Charles next, anyone can get it.
Paddy made a bold claim, stating he would submit Charles Oliveira if the two were to face each other in the octagon.
How your submission grappling would stack up with Charles, I'm sure you've thought about it before, but can you share with us, have you ever thought about that fight? I know he's facing
I was talking about it about 10 minutes ago. I'd submit Charles.
And have you heard anything back from him? Or
No, like, I've got nothing but respect for Charles. I know what I mean. He's an absolute legend in the sport, but he's on his way out. And I think if he tried to grapple with me, I'd submit him. But we'd probably end up having a war for 5 rounds on the feet if I ended up fighting Charles Oliveira.
Following his dominant win at UFC 329, Robert Whittaker may already be eyeing his next opponent. With a third-round stoppage of Nikita Krylov in his light heavyweight debut, Whittaker proved himself a formidable force in the division. At the post-fight press conference, Whittaker addressed Belal Muhammad's suggestion that he face Yuri Prochazka next, sharing his thoughts on the potential matchup.
You're a fan favorite amongst them as well, but Belal Muhammad, this is a tweet he put out, quote, "I've seen enough. Give me Whittaker versus Yuri next."
Okay. when he first started saying that, I was like, no, he's not. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, we'll see. I feel like the division is a buffet. I wanted someone ranked out of the gate You know, I think a lot of questions have been answered. I feel like there was a lot of doubters out there. There were a lot of people that had questions, a lot of people who wanted to see what the transition looked like, me going up. So, yeah, I think I silenced those guys and, you know, put my case.
Robert Whittaker shared his thoughts on competing at light heavyweight, discussing the adjustments he made in preparation for the fight.
Fighting's fighting. It felt very much the same. I trained for months like my opponent had death in his hands. You know, he was a light heavyweight moving up. Understandably, everyone hits harder, so I trained like every touch would put me to sleep. If I had a session or a training where I got hit, it was failed for me. I wasn't happy. I'd go home upset. So I trained so much to work through that. And then once I was in there, they hit hard, but mate, the middleweights hit hard too. You know what I mean? And the idea is not to get hit. And as another thing is, like, I have size on me. I know I'm not tall, and I don't know why people think I'm so skinny. Like, I woke up at 2:30 this morning, you know? I had to cut back on the snack.
Bobby Green is already looking ahead to his next opponent after a stunning comeback victory at UFC 329. Green overcame a tough start to score a first-round knockout over Terrence McKinney on the main card. Following the fight, Dan Hooker called him out for a potential September matchup. At the post-fight press conference, Green addressed Hooker's challenge, cautioning him not to underestimate him due to his slow beginning against McKinney. When asked about facing Hooker in September, Green was queried about his interest in the bout, with Hooker having already taken to Twitter to express his enthusiasm, saying, "LA September, see you there, Bobby Green."
For me, I don't know if you've seen, but I know you called for September. Dan Hooker's already tweeted, "LA September, see you there, Bobby Green." Are you interested in fighting Dan Hooker in LA?
I've been called that guy out, you know, and the funny thing is, you didn't say nothing when I was calling you out before. He didn't say nothing, you know. Now all of a sudden it's like, well, he's popping like that. Now let's get him, you know. And I think they see my face and they think they see this fight, but I was really just warming up. I just kind of like just having fun, kind of taking my time, and then he caught me in my eye, and I couldn't see. And so I hope that they're not taking this fight and looking at it like, okay, maybe I'm slowing down. It's just, I'm just warming up. I was just like, all right. So then once I got him off my back, I'm like, all right, now the fight's actually gonna start now. You didn't know it, but I was just playing possum. We're just enjoying the shit, you know?
Dana White was questioned about the UFC's post-career wellness program following the recent Dustin Poirier incident. He confirmed the program exists, but offered no further details.
For me, because people have been asking me about this, and I figured I'd get the chance to ask you. You probably saw what happened with Dustin Poirier, and you don't really have to react to that, but a lot of people have been asking. WWE has a wellness program where if there are ex-wrestlers, you know, or current that are running into issues, even post-retirement, they can get the help that they need. Have you talked to Dustin? And
we do the same.
You guys do the same thing. Can you explain like how that works?
We don't talk about that stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, we do the same. Any guys that have problems, believe me, a lot do.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest MMA news and UFC updates. We upload new videos every single day. Bye.